Could do the step where you actually do the cross multiplying, or if you notice, let's see, how do I want to write this? I usually try to group the most, if I can, the most complicated stuff together when I'm doing separating with something more complicated. So I try to keep as much complicated, any kind of numbers, everything with the x. Because eventually I'm going to have to start isolating my y, and the more stuff I have away from y, the better. So I threw my x squared just right next to the 2 in front, which is legal. And again, you could do this cross multiplying thing, but you'll notice you're just kind of, you know, you're going to have to end up dividing by that 1 minus y anyway. So you could go just straight to this. Like, you don't have to show the step above it at all. Like, you could just be doing this right away when you're separating. So you get a point for that. And then you're going to integrate both sides. And this guy, this first one, is going to be what? You could do a u sub, or know what it is? What is it? Yeah. Negative natural log of 1 minus y. Okay? We should get to a point that we can do that. Okay, without having to do anything else. The reason it's negative is because it's the negative y, okay, the minus y part. And then 2/3 x cubed plus c, and then you're like, and then it's like, stop, find c. JK, there's no general, they're wanting the general solution. Okay, so what we're going to do is, oh, wait, maybe highlight this minus part. I forgot to do that. Okay, so because it's minus y, you have to chain it, right? So you get negative natural log. And then now you're going to solve for natural log. So I'm going to, or solve for y. So you're going to divide out the negative. Oh, this might be what you're talking about, Claire, maybe. So you get negative 2/3 x cubed, and any like algebra stuff get absorbed into the c. So you can still write plus c as your answer. It's just like your ending c might be a negative number. Okay, so it gets absorbed. Is that like a question you're asking? Okay, yeah, so it gets absorbed, and then now what you're going to do is you're going to eat up. So you're going to go. Oops. Correct. Correct. Yep. Because, I mean, especially with this one, I'll show you, because of the absolute value bars, it's going to account for that anyway. So you get e to the negative 2/3 x cubed plus c. And then remember, you can write that plus c as a new and improved plus c by doing exponent rules. So you could do 1 minus y equals e to the negative 2/3 x cubed times e to the c. Is everyone still alive with that? Okay, and it's multiplication, because multiple choice will put a plus as an option to be mean. So now this e to the c becomes new and improved new c. Okay? So what that ends up being, I know that's being a little obnoxious there, but you're changing that guy as c e to the negative 2/3 x cubed, right? Is everyone alive still? Okay, yeah.
We have to show that step, or can we just go like?
You can just go straight to it, yeah. For an example, here to the answer is worth 1 because there's no points for algebra. So I'm just showing it all because, you know, gotta be legit. So next, I'm going to drop the bars by adding in a plus or minus. E negative 2/3 x cubed. And then now we're algebraing it up. Usually when it's in this form, I'll put that number in front. Because sometimes they can get weird with parentheses. So whenever there's constants I got to move over, I always just put it in front of all the E stuff. And then dividing out the negative, this now turns into positive. I mean, the plus or minus didn't change because it's like, you know, it kind of absorbs the negative part. And then this would be the answer. Yippee. So. Isn't this fun? Look how long that is. Look at that. Woo! You guys are so smart. Gotta feel smart about it. Is there any steps or questions in the steps? And we're going to talk about all this like when we review for the AP test. But like I said, here to here, all this work is worth nothing. It's not worth anything. Okay? So they only care about, can you do an antiderivative and can you get my answer for F or Q? And then multiple choice, obviously, you need the right answer. So we'll talk about all that fun stuff. This interval validity, they stopped asking that. So I'm not going to do it because it's more work than it's worth. So now we're going to do this guy. And now we have initial conditions. So that's exciting. So they're using solve the following differential equation. These directions were find the general solution. They all mean the same thing. So all the directions, they can vary. So that's fun. Again, keep the 6 if you can with the x. You know what I mean? Keep y as like simple as possible. That's just my advice. Because then you don't have to deal with more algebra at the end. So I usually do like 6xy squared. You'll still end up getting the same answer, but you're going to have more algebra at the end. So I just kind of group if I can, group them together. And then if you separate it, is that okay if I do this? Maybe? Oops, I forgot my dy. Jeez Louise. Is 1 over y squared dy, and then 6x dx. And then you're going to integrate. Okay? If you need, think of that as y to the negative 2 to help you integrate. But if you were to integrate that, that'd be negative 1 over y. Right? Or negative 1 over y, whatever you want to think about it. And then this would be 3x squared plus c. And then it's really tempting to do a bunch of stuff, but stop. Find c. Oops, getting too excited. Find c. So that's when you go back to your initial condition, and that's how you're going to find your c. So like for Robbie's stuff, his dy dx was the velocity curve. Okay, so the velocity graph, I forget what the numbers were. And then his initial condition was y of 0 equals like 32, right? That's like kind of what this is happening. So these separable equations are nice when you have x and y, when you have two different variables in there, and you need to find the solution. So what do we get here? Get negative 1 over 25. That's gross. That's fine. And then 3 times, ew. Oh, wait, it's just 1. Whew. Weren't you scared? I almost put 1 over 25 there. I'm like, no, that's not the y. Phew, I just dodged a bullet. Okay, so we get negative 25 equals 3 plus c, so negative 28. Seems random, but we're just going with it, I guess. Okay, then I need to rewrite it. And then I'm going to write minus 28. Everyone's still alive? Hey. I'm going to get that negative out of there because that's been bothering me for a while. But I'm going to make it look cute because then if you switch them, doesn't that look cuter? Versus having a negative in the front. It doesn't matter. I'm just being kind of crazy. Okay. Now, think about it. This whole thing's over 1. None of them are fractions. So what I can do is I can do the reciprocal of both. And I don't even need a plus or minus or anything. So that's kind of fun. And there she is. It's a she, apparently.
Sure.
Yeah.
Just so like, down from like the negative 1 over y to just y equals negative 1 over, what was this back? But just instead of getting rid of the negative, you just make it negative 1 over 3x.
Yes. That's fine. That's the same thing. Yeah. Yep. That's a good question. Yeah. Okay, next one. Look at that one. That's terrifying. Isn't it? You guys aren't scared enough, hey? Just kidding. Okay, well, this is terrifying. I'm going to kind of put the, you know what? I'm just going to do full on cross multiplying because this is too scary. So what is this? I get x, y cubed dx equals, okay, this is like a mess. Okay, so I cross multiply and like literally nothing works. So I got to divide out the root stuff and divide out the cubing of the y. So what I'm left with, right, I'm going to actually, shoot, I kind of want my y's on the left. Is that going to be too much? Okay, well, here, this is what I'll do. I'm going to divide out the root. And then this is going to be 1 over y cubed dy, right? Is everyone still alive on where I got this? And maybe I'm being a little crazy, but it just makes me feel better, okay? I like when the y's on the left. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just going to do it over here. It's going to bother me if I don't. Okay, that's just me being crazy, okay? So what I did is I separated it, and I didn't like y on the right, so I just switched them, okay? Is everyone okay where the numbers came from? Okay. Okay, well, that's y to the negative 3, right? So add to the power, that's negative 2. So that's going to be over y squared. But then you divide by the new power, and it's negative. So that'd be negative 1/2, right? Oh, ew, right? That's complicated. Oh, good thing you knows sub. Yeah. Hey, you can't forget anything. Yay, love life. Okay. So we're going to do a cute little sub. So I'm going to let my u equal this. Right? Because then my du is 2x dx, which will cover most of it, but the stupid 2. So get that out of there. So what does this transform into? I didn't even integrate yet, PS, right? I just have 1/2 integral, and then what would this be? 1 over square root of u du. So don't be like, it's never going to be that hard. Oh yeah, it totally will be. And we didn't even integrate. So some people start like doing the plus C's and stuff. You got to settle down. Still got to integrate it, which is unfortunate, you know what I mean? All right. I don't know. If it helps, you could write it as u to the negative half. Maybe. Yeah. Because that'd be u to the negative half, and then you add to the power, divide by the new one. I don't know how much I should. I'll just show. Because this would be 1/2 u to the positive half times 2. Do you know what I'm saying? Plus c. Antiderivative. Or you could go straight to 1 u to the half. Do you know what I'm saying? Because the 2 and the 1/2. Okay. Oh, I got to put the x back. Silly. I'm actually going to put it in radical form because what would this be? Square root of, what was my u again? 1 plus x squared. 1 plus x squared. And plus c. Are you processing? Do we understand? Because now you're going to stop. Stop. Find C. So this is how you know it's good, when you have to zoom out like this. Okay. So you're going to put in the y and the x. So what do I get? Negative 1 over 2 times negative 1 squared equals square root of 1 plus 0 squared plus c. Oofta. Okay. What is this? Negative 1/2, right? Yeah. Equals 1. Oh, and then I'll have a kid say c equals 1/2. So don't be that kid. Thank you. Negative 3/2. You would never. I know it. Yes? All right. What was this even equation yet? So now we get negative 1 over 2y squared equals square root 1 plus x squared. I'll write it in the red. Minus 3/2. Well, this looks beautiful. Sarcasm, that looks awful. Okay. You know what? I think I'm going to clear out the 2. Because then I don't have a denominator on anything. Do you know what I'm saying? Like if I clear out a 2, so if I multiply everything by 2, actually, I'm going to do negative 2. This is strategy right here. This is super smart. I'm just saying. Because then the negative 2 will clean up the 2 on the left and make it positive. Because this will be then just plain old 1 over y squared. Do you see what I'm saying? And then, because I like making it cute, okay, I'm going to put the 3, because like 3/2 times negative 2, right? And it's negative, so I'm going to put a positive. And then this becomes negative 2 root 1 plus x squared. So I distributed the negative 2, but I like when the negative, it says minus to make it look cuter. Is everyone still good? Because then now this whole thing is over 1, and I can just do a little switcheroo business. As in a reciprocal. I should use better language. 3 minus 2 root 1 plus x squared. Oh, this is going to be ugly. Okay, then we get square root of both sides. So this is disgusting. But I just died. I died. Plus or minus? Actually, I know which one it is. I know. Do you know how you know? Huh? How do you know? Well, remember this guy way over here? This guy? See him? Y of 0 equals -1, right? Well, if y of 0 equals -1, the grand finale, and look at perfect spacing, this never happens, okay, is negative. It has to be. Because if I plug in 0, I need a -1 with this radical. Look at that thing. Yuck. Okay? So I knew because if I plug 0 in, I need a -1. If I plug 0 in now, I'll get a +1, like plus or minus, right? If you plug 0 into the function. But I need it to be a -1, so I have to put the negative in front of the radical. Yeah.
Do you want us to like if we can like?
You have to.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so there we go. Rest of the time.